Hello everyone and welcome back to End Zone Analytics. And today we will continue ranking every NFL team. So let's get right into it. Number 16, the Cincinnati Bengals. This team is confusing. With Joe Burrow playing, they are a Super Bowl contender. But if he's injured or out, they can't play. This team is another offensive powerhouse, but their defense is meh. Adding Dexter Lawrence is a great way to command this defense. But the defense also lost so much talent in Trey Hendrickson and Geno Stone. But this season is looking like the offense won't have to put up 50 points a game, only 40. And that's if Joe Burrow's playing. Good luck, Bengals fans. Number 15, the Green Bay mother-loving Packers. The team that is owned by Caleb Williams, the King of the North, is not in a great spot. Having Romeo Doubs, Quay Walker, Rashad Gary, and lots of depth on their team left over the offseason. But they did bring in Javon Hargrave from the Vikings. The Packers should be worried from losing their players, injury prevention, and Josh Jacobs, who might not even be able to play this season. But this team could still be an 11-6 team if they don't get injured every other week. Number 14, the LA Chargers. The Chargers have done a great job in recent years to build an offense around Justin Herbert. And if there was a time to cash in on Justin Herbert, it would be now. Now, after adding David Njoku to the tight end group, this offense has tons of options for receiving. Wide receiver 1, Ladd McConkey. Wide receiver 2, Quentin Johnson. And wide receiver 3, Trey Harris. Also at the tight end group, they have a tag team of David Njoku and Oronde Gadsden II. Don't forget the running backs too. This offense could be top 5 if Justin Herbert turns it up for the season. Number 13, the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they might be a bit high, and I used to hate them a lot, but now they have been grounded. This team is not getting much younger, and this is the last year to keep this dynasty going. Patrick Mahomes could easily get another MVP, and because he is still a top 7 QB. He could also lead his team back to the playoffs. But to be honest, for this to happen, his receivers have to stop getting injured and into trouble. If this team is healthy, they can easily get 11-6 or 10-7 record. I've solid hopes for the defense too, even with departures of Trent McDuffie and Leo Chanel. Number 12, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags didn't really have an exciting offseason, only signing Chris Rodriguez and Rugor Ora, but their team got better during the season by turning their franchise around, getting a record of 13-4. Trevor Lawrence led the way, getting over 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns passing. And besides him, Travis Etienne with 1,100 yards, who is not on the team anymore. And the team did a great job of spreading out the ball to all their receiving options. But also, the defense, who is number 1 in rush defense, and number 2 in the NFL for turnovers with 31, right behind the Bears, but was dead last in pass coverage. So if they play a bit better, and with better pass coverage, they could make it to the AFC Championship. I have high hopes for the Jags this season. But Trevor Lawrence and his team will have to prove it. Number 11, the Detroit Lions. The Lions had a pretty weird season last year, actually being last in the North, but they did have a solid offseason, bringing in Isaiah Pacheco to replace David Montgomery, and also bringing in some good depth. Now instead of Sonic and Knuckles, it'll be Sonic and other Sonic. This team will be one of the most scoring efficient teams in the league again. As long as Jared Goff can still play, this team should be an easy team for the playoffs, due to their schedule being so easy. Which I think they will win the North possibly. They could get 13 plus wins, but come playoffs, we'll see how they do. Number 10, the Houston Texans. Holy crap, this defense looks so good again. With them adding Reed Blankenship, Logan Hall, Martin Mapu, and lots more to this team, even with them releasing Joe Mixon, the only thing they absolutely need is for CJ Stroud to lock in. His rookie year was his best season by far, and since then he has been mid. And last season he wasn't even able to play every game. I love this team, and I think they could go far. But for that to happen, they need CJ Stroud to play every game, with a season over 4,000 yards again and 25 touchdowns again. If this happens, give them South, and with a 12-5 record or even better. The defense is figured out. Now the offense needs to work. Number 9, the New England Patriots. Yes, they did just make the Super Bowl. But if they didn't, they would be at 16. Drake May is a great quarterback, but the schedule to get to the Super Bowl was way, way too easy. And that's why the Seahawks gave belt. They did lose lots and lots of players, but still brought in A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, Elijah Vera Tucker, Kevin Byard, and so much more. So if they do better this season, it will be more realistic. But I think Drake May will be far from MVP this season, and will still get hit with reality. I see them missing the playoffs or grabbing the 7th seed in Week 18. Number 8, the Chicago Bears. Now I'm going to have a lot to say. The Bears upset the world with their best season in years. Caleb Williams showed why he was the number 1 pick. Even though the Bears lost DJ Moore, Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Byard, and other notable players, but brought in Devin Bush, Kobe Bryant, Jedrick Wills, and lots more. Let's talk about Williams. Caleb had an amazing and memorable season last year. And since then, he has got a clean haircut, lost 10 to 15 pounds, and has grinded over this offseason. I'm almost 100% sure he will get his 4,000 yards this season and possibly be in MVP talks. Yes, I know. This team has one of the hardest schedules in the league, and that's why they will be. The Bears will prove that they are not the same old Bears. I could see them starting 6-0 possibly and ending 13-4. And also winning the North. Bear down. Number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are coming into the season healthy. Yes, they lost Kyle Van Noy, Tyler Linderbaum, Keaton Mitchell, and others. But they still have the big 4. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. And don't forget, they got Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals, a division rival. This team is going to look super dangerous once again if they don't get hit with injuries. Derrick Henry and Lamar are going to be lethal and deadly. Give them both 10 rushing touchdowns and have one of the best running attacks in the league. This team is going back to the playoffs, and they're going to make something happen. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry to say, but Hurts is still a top tier QB, and I don't understand his hate. The Eagles still went 11-6 last year and made the playoffs, but they've fixed something this offseason. They traded A.J. Brown, and replacing him with 4 other good receivers. This offense is looking great for the season, now that A.J. Brown is reading books in New England. I feel like they will win their division again, and pretty convincingly. Also, don't forget the tush push is still in their playbook. This team will have a statistically and actually better season this year. Saquon will look better, and so will Hurts. They could get up to 12 wins this season, or maybe even more. Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl champions. They had a historical run in the playoffs and deserved that win. But going into the 2026-2027 season, they're not going back to the bowl. There are so many other teams, but JSN and Rashid Shaheed will still be one of the best wide receiver duos, and Sam Darnold will have another great season. But losing the Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, also with Kobe Bryant, Tyreek Woolen, and Boye Mafe, is just too much damage to the defense for them to be as dominant as they were last year. They won't have another 14-3 season, but they also won't win less than 10 games. Number 4, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have done a great job to make this defense better and give Bo Nix more passing options. They didn't bring in big names, but good depth with Tyson Anderson and Blake Cotton. And the big one, trading for Jalen Waddle, making this offense even more pass-heavy and top scoring. This defense will probably be the best or second best once again this season, and Bo Nix will be possibly an MVP candidate. But their offense has so much options, it would make sense if there wasn't one player with all the numbers, and could get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Number 3, San Francisco 49ers. They have mixed offseason with lots of depth leaving, while they brought Dre Greenlaw back and Deebo Samuels back lately. Also bring in Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Nate Hobbs, and a lot more. This team is looking stacked with talent, and with Christian McCaffrey having no sign of slowing down, and Brock Purdy getting better every year, this team is back in Super Bowl contention. The Niners and Mr. Irrelevant are looking at a great season ahead. Brock Purdy could go for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, while McCaffrey goes for 1,000 yards rushing and 800 yards receiving. This could be such a crazy season for the Niners. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. They had a big offseason, losing some key veterans like Matt Milano and Jordan Poyer, but they made up for it by bringing in Bradley Chubb, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Geno Stone. This team is looking very strong, and with Josh Allen and his elite playmaking, and also James Cook still being the top running back in the NFL, this team might actually go all the way. The Bills Mafia and the Bills are looking at a promising season. Josh Allen could go out and win another MVP, especially with DJ Moore being his new wide receiver 1. This season could change their playoff outcome and reach the bowl. Finally, the number 1, the Los Angeles Rams. They had a busy offseason, losing a few guys like Tutu Atwell and Kobe Durant. But they made up for it by making massive moves to bring in Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. This team is looking very strong, with Matthew Stafford's elite passing, and with the addition of the sack king, Myles Garrett, and possibly the return of Aaron Donald coming back. The Rams and Sean McVay are looking at a historical season ahead. This team should be top 5 in every category and have one of the best chances to go 17-0 in all of NFL history. This season could change history and could easily grab the Lombardi Trophy. Well, thank you everyone that tuned in to watch part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe or comment what you thought about my rankings. This is Endzone Analytics, signing off.